All right, Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles in for Amina Smith tonight. Got Eddie House. We'll hear from Scal in a bit. Celtics fall in this one 106-103. A game they trailed by 14 points with just 2 and change remaining, Eddie, and they had a chance to tie it up there with Porzingis at the end. Got a good look at 3, but Celtics coming up just short, and a lot of that goes back to just the lulls they had in the second half.
Yeah, I think not even in the second half. I think it started kind of in that second quarter, and that carried over to the second half. You look offensively, they didn't look the same as they had been looking in previous games where they were stagnant. It seemed like it was a carryover of the fourth quarter and overtime of the Minnesota game on how they played offense tonight. They were stagnant. It was one action. It wasn't a lot of guys trying to hit the paint, create multiple passes, pass up a good shot to get a great shot. It wasn't that. And then the attention to detail, boxing out, not getting beat on the offensive rebound, closing that out. I felt like they didn't play with a sense of urgency until the end of the game. I felt like when it was that time they started pressing. We could use that a little earlier. Those things get you in rhythm offensively. Those things get you in a defensive rhythm as well, and you throw the other team off. I think we gave Joel Embiid too much of the same looks until there at the end when we started doubling him in different spots. We was pushing him off the spot. So you look at this game, I feel like they just took too long to get going. And that's pretty much what – and against good teams, you can't do that. You end up losing the game. Even though we had a chance at the end, you don't want to keep putting yourself in those kind of predicaments. Yeah,
and again, it was a 14-point deficit there with 2 and change to play. And let's kind of go through that sequence, how the Celtics got back into this game. It was 104-90, and then you got Kristaps Porzingis. Or actually, it's going to be
Jaylen Brown
knocking down that first 3. So that made an 11-point game. Now you got Porzingis with the and 1. So the Celtics back within 8. You had a couple free throws for Derek White. And then Jason Tatum. Nice pressure from Drew Holiday leads to the turnover. Tatum turns it into 2 the other way. That made it a 4-point game with a minute to go. And the big bucket here is Joel Embiid working on Tatum and hitting his turnaround jumper late in the shot clock to make it a 6-point contest. And Jaylen Brown able to cut that in half here. Knocks down the 3 with about 30-something seconds left. So it's a 3-point game, and then you got JB playing defense on the other end, Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seemed like their sense of urgency heightened right there at the end when they had a chance. You see them, they were buzzing around a lot more on defense. They were moving the ball on offense, trying to get up shots. Jaylen Brown came up big with 2 big shots. Was cold all night, but hit 2 big ones, and then had that block right there. And then, you have your opportunity here. I mean,
yeah, Kristaps Porzingis again off the fake. And he had made a couple. That's one of the best looks he got all night. Just comes up short.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do. At the end, it's like that. It's a make-or-miss league, and you had the opportunity to make the shot to send it to overtime. Just wasn't able to do it. Another hard-fought game. I thought that, again, we waited too long to put our foot on the gas to apply pressure to the Philadelphia team. I thought we just waited way too long to do that. And our offense didn't look that great. 17 points in the third quarter, I think, for the first time. That's a season low.
And maybe some people wanted to say that Joel Embiid was out of bounds there. Maybe you could also argue that Derek White put him out of bounds by running into him. But we got Drew and Scal back down in Philly right now. And Drew, what was the difference for you guys tonight? Where did this thing start to go wrong? And why were the Celtics able to come back and send it to overtime?
Well, I think you guys hit the nail on the head with the offense. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where it's been a little choppy for a team that was just dominant through the first 5 games of the season with, one of the best offensive ratings we've seen in a long time in the NBA through 5 games. Against Minnesota, you understand it, really good defense. Philly's a good defensive team as well. But in that fourth quarter, Scal, we saw exactly why this team is never out of a game. I mean, defense to offense are one of the best in the league.
So are we going to celebrate that final run at the end? That's
yeah,
where we're going right now? Good job, man. You were so positive. You are such a positive person. It's good hanging out with this guy. Yeah, I mean, obviously they have the talent to do that. After the Brooklyn game started this road trip, I said they have a lot of different ways that they can win. They can do it with their toughness. They can do it with their defense. They can do it inside. They can do it outside. But we do have a problem right now. If we're not moving the big around with Embiid in the paint was a problem for us. Gobert in the second half was a problem for us. So I think that's maybe an emphasis that the Celtics got to kind of figure out. We should be able to. We have the guys to do it. We have Al Horford that can stretch. You got Kristaps Porzingis that can stretch out. And by the way, there was times when Drew Holiday was being guarded by Embiid, and he could pull him out away from the basket. But I'm going to give Nick Nurse a lot of credit because he did some things defensively that kind of got us on our heels. But we're going to have to find a way to handle that particular thing because when we move the ball, when we're flowing, we're good. When we get stagnant, most of the time it's when the big is in the paint, kind of clogging us up.
Scal and Drew, this is one thing, y'all were there, so, I'm watching it from afar. I felt like from that second quarter we got outworked and it kind of carried over. You guys been harping on the offense, right? The ball being offense being stagnant, ball not moving, just one pass and shot. But I'm really looking at the defense, and it goes to, giving up second chance opportunity points, giving up offensive rebound. I felt like we didn't turn up our energy, and it felt like we were sleepwalking until the last part of the game where we were pressing and things like that. And I think this is something that's a learning experience for Joe Mazzulla to say, hey, when our offense not going, we can create offense with our defense. And I think when you talk about different ways to win basketball games, it's not going to always be pretty on the offensive end. I think we got to get back to being a hard-nosed defensive team and mixing it up, not giving guys the same look. So did this look like we were just kind of half-stepping into that last part of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think we do. I think when our offense isn't flowing, our energy is not the same defensively. But by the way, I thought we played good defense. I thought you hit it on the head with the second chance points. Those things killed us. And every one of them, it seemed like they were capitalizing on a three or getting a dunk or anything like that. So I thought for the most part, the defense was pretty good, like making them miss. That's part of defense. But we did not rebound well, and we didn't ever try to speed them up. They played their pace and tried to speed Embiid up. So yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. But I feel like when you have more talent, you want to get those possessions going. You want to play more. You want to move that ball more. You want to try to speed other teams up that don't have the same amount of talent as you.
Well, sometimes guys just make tough shots too, right? I mean, especially Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
he shot 50% today. He was great again. Maxey, though, I mean, made him player of the game at the end. He had 25 points on 27 shots. I thought they did an okay job defending him. Like you said a couple times tonight, Scal, that guy's a star.
Yeah, he's good. Why he got player of the game is because he controlled the tempo. And that's what we need to do. If we're the Boston Celtics, we have to come in here and play our game. And you want Maxey to try to control tempo, but probably at a young age or just getting the experience of being like an all-star player, probably doesn't do a great job of it. Today, across the board, he controlled the game.
All right, Drew, Scout, thanks so much. You mentioned the second chance points, by the way. Philadelphia had 19 second chance points in this one as they get the win 106-103. So the Sixers are 6-1. They've won 6 in a row. Celtics fall to 5-2.